Now, thousands of protesters have once again come out onto the streets of Hong Kong. The protesters came out in two groups. One was pro-Beijing and the other was pro-democracy. Now, several thousand people have turned out in an unusual display of support for the police force in Hong Kong. Meanwhile, flash mobs, protests and vandalism also broke out in multiple locations throughout Hong Kong. Now, the pro-Beijing rally attracted a bigger crowd than a protest against the government just a few hundred meters away, which took place around the same time. The Hong Kong police used pepper spray and also made multiple arrests as small groups of black-clad pro-democracy protesters targeted some of the city's malls. Now, the deployed riot police used pepper spray and also made at least about 8 arrests in 2 shopping centres as members of the public heckled the officers. Now, groups of mass protesters clad in black marched through the malls, chanting slogans including "Fight for Freedom" and "Return Justice to Us." Now, the police fired one tear gas canister outside a mall and took away several people. The protesters blocked some entrances and also walkways and smashed glass panels and sprayed graffiti. And dozens of protesters marched past shops and people who were eating at the restaurants, chanting slogans at the Taikoo Plaza. The protesters were seen singling out at a certain shop that they believe that is owned by a pro-Beijing company, and put up posters on the door while chanting slogans in front of it. The rally, which had a Christmas shopping theme, was the latest in a series of demonstrations. Protests erupted in June over a proposed extradition law and have since snowballed into an anti-government movement. Now, the protesters have railed against what they see as Chinese meddling in freedom's promise to Hong Kong, where the former British colony returned to Chinese rule in 1997. With nearly 6 months of anti-government protests posing a grave populist challenge to China's leader Xi Jinping, the ties between China and the United States has become pretty complicated with time, with tensions over trade war and protests.